I left you with was a bit of a challenge, hopefully, trying to figure out what the area of this cube would be, since this is the only information that is given to you. To begin with, I'm giving you some questions to think through. So first of all, the prism to the left is a cube. What is the prism to the left? I've told you that answer. You need to write it right here in this box. The prism to the left is a cube. I am not asking you to do that just to give you busy work. It is important that you get very familiar with what this means in order to solve the problem. So step one, write that answer in. If you haven't done it already, pause, write the answer in. Step two, the measurements of all sides of a cube are equal. So what do you need to write in this box? Exactly what it says here. The measurements of all sides of a cube are equal. Once you have that written down, you should be able to begin to think where this is leading. It tells you this prism is a cube. Thus, all the sides of this cube must be the same length. But don't just go deciding you know exactly what the length is. The next logical step, the measurement given shows the area of the base. To find the area of a rectangle, multiply length times width. So question number 3, how do you find the area of a rectangle? Yes, you actually have to write this sentence in this box. Number 4 then, since the measurement of all the sides of the cube, of all the sides of this cube must be, oops, typo, take out the, must be equal, comma, what must the length and width be so that they are, I better fix these typos before I print the sheets for you, so that they are 25 hundredths of a centimeter squared. Here you'll have to do some math. So here you do not need to copy anything. This is just in bold to remind you all of these measurements must be the same in order for length times width to equal what they give you, 25 hundredths centimeters squared. What are the only two numbers that you can put in here that are equal that will give you this area? If the numbers are equal, you have to put exactly the same numbers in here, including the same number of spaces past the decimal. Which means you need a decimal in both, because there are 2 places past this decimal. And for them to be an equal amount, you may only have a digit in the tenths place. So how many tenths times that same amount will give you 25 hundredths? What number times itself equals 25? Well, isn't that a 5? So check it out. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 places past the decimal, move it twice. Everything matches here. So 5 times 5 tenths gives you 25 hundredths. So that means the length here is 5 tenths of a centimeter. The width here must be 5 tenths of a centimeter. Would this work if it's not a cube? No. The only way we can be sure of what these two measurements are is from the very beginning to say this is a cube. Only a cube has all sides with equal measurements. Well, if I just said all sides must be equal measurements, since the measurement of all the sides of this cube must be equal, how high is this cube? No math needed. If all of the sides are the same, that means the height is also going to be 5/10 of a centimeter. Why are all the sides the same measurement? Because this is a cube. So, given the area of 25 hundredths for the base of this cube, I know only 5/10 times 5/10 gives me 25 hundredths. That is the only way to keep the length and the width equal. That means the height must be 5/10 of a centimeter because this is a cube and all sides of a cube are going to measure 5/10 of a centimeter, at least on this cube. So, since the measurement of all the sides of this cube must be equal, how high is this cube? It must be 5/10 of a centimeter high. No math is needed, just logical thinking. Once we have gone through this logical thinking, all right, what is the volume of this cube? Well, we already know 5/10 times 5/10 is 25 hundredths. No need to do that again. Start with 25 hundredths and just multiply that times your 5/10. Are we adding or subtracting with decimals? No. So it does not matter that we don't like the decimals. We just put the most digits on top, the fewest digits on bottom, and we multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Now is when the decimals matter. 3 places past the decimal. 1, 2, 3. My final answer is 125 thousandths of a centimeter cubed. That is the volume of this figure. If you did not quite understand that, watch this video again from beginning to end because your assignment requires you to apply what you've learned on 2 other cubes. And you must answer all the questions on your homework assignment just as I talked you through how they need to be answered on this example. Be careful, but it shouldn't be too difficult.